everyone. Welcome to the Woolly Wonka Fibers podcast. My name is Anne, and this is a podcast about my knitting, my spinning, some other crafty things, my indie dye and indie design business. Today is Thursday, December 22nd, 2016, so just a couple days before Christmas and about a week, 10 days before the end of the year. If you are a new viewer to the podcast, thanks for tuning in and choosing to spend a little time with me. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. And I always enjoy coming back to chat with you guys. So I hope everyone is doing well. The solstice was yesterday. The winter solstice was yesterday. Today we are having very wintry weather here. We got up this morning, there was just a dusting. We probably have about an inch right now. It's supposed to snow off and on throughout the day, maybe switch to some rain, which would be nasty. We'd just rather have the snow, and then maybe back to snow tonight. The initial forecast that I was hearing were saying 3 to 5 inches, but I think if we get some rain, that'll be much less because it'll melt what snow we do have on the ground right now. But it's very pretty out, and it feels like Christmas, and it feels like winter, and I'm a happy camper because I love the colder months. So all is good. Let's see, a few kind of quick items of note. While I am going to be around for the Christmas and then New Year's holiday here, we're staying home. I'm not going to be doing another podcast until the beginning of the year. So I wanted to make you guys aware, if you are local to New Mexico, that I will be doing a trunk show on January 7th, which is the first Saturday after New Year's, at Yarn and Coffee in Santa Fe from 12 to 3. I'll have some new yarn bases, some new yarn colors. I'll have a few kits. I'll have some spinning fibers. I might even take some of my Handspun with me. So if you are in the area and want to stop by and say hi, please do. I would love to see you. Might be a great way to spend some of your Christmas cash if Santa is good to you with that. So that's always a good time. Deborah has a really nice store, and again, that's January 7th, 2017. I will put the information on the shop with a link to the website, as well as the date and time in the program notes below. Let's see. You still have a wee bit of time if you are undecided about signing up for any of the clubs. There's full information on the woollyWonkaFiber.com website. You have your choice of a bunch of different ones. You can do lace, you can do texture and color, you can do a sweater club, or the hand spinning fiber club. All of those are open, will be open through about this time next week. I'll be closing out the lace and texture color clubs, which are the ones that come every other month, by this time next week, because I have to start shipping orders for the first kit, which I'll talk about in a minute. You guys who are here watching get a sneak peek of what's coming your way if you have signed up for the color texture club. The sweater club will stay open for a little while, as will the fiber club, because those won't be shipping until later. So you have a little bit more time if you are still kind of deciding on those. So I think that's it for shop type news. Let's get on to what I'm working on and a finished object. The first thing I'll share with you guys is what is going to be the very first kit that ships out for the Color and Texture Club, and that is the Snowdrop Mittens. These are a pair of colorwork mittens. This is the palm. This is the back of the hand. They are knit with 2 colors of my Aarton sock, which is the merino cashmere nylon blend, which is super soft and squishy. The pattern comes with the kit if you're part of the club, and it comes in 2 sizes. These are the smalls, which are a little bit snug on me. I usually wear a women's large gloves. I have wide hands here. But these will be kitted up. You'll get enough yarn to knit either size, with the dark green, which is moss, and the white, which is natural. And so 2 sizes included in the pattern, and the patterns will appear in your Ravelry library on probably the 31st of December, so you guys can knit those over the weekend if you're off and have the interest in doing that. I'm going to try to ship packages, I think the 29th, in the hopes that maybe they'll be arriving on the 31st, at least for US customers. If you're overseas, it won't get there in time for the 1st, but it'll give you something fun to work on in the new year. Twisted stitch ribbing here for the cuffs, 1x1 ribbing. And these are a quick, fun little, you know, gift to yourself kind of project. I think you could easily get these done in under a month, probably a weekend, really, if you sat down and put your mind to it. So they have the cute little drooping snowflake or snowdrop pattern on them, interspersed with little tiny snowflakes. So these are the first kit in the color and texture packages, and that's part of the Herbarium Club for 2017. The pattern is also available as a standalone once the year kicks off. So if you are looking to pick up the ebooks for either the texture color section patterns or the lace patterns, those will be available the 1st of January, and then the lace ones will start the 1st of February when that set of kits goes out. So FO, these are timely. I may even wear them this week if it stays cold and definitely stays snowy. Good layering piece to put on with the winter coat. So that is my FO. That's probably going to be my final finished object to share with you guys for this year. No, I know it is. Final finished object to share with you guys for this year. In other knitting things, I am currently working on the last bits of the sleeves for the Colorwork sweater that will be in the March or spring issue of the Filament magazine that Kathleen Dames and I are collaborating on. I have the body completely finished other than darning and ends, and the sleeves are done. Both of them are done to about here, I would say. So I don't have very much more to do, and actually that's my plan for today, for this afternoon. I got up really early. I went and did a whole bunch of dyeing, so stuff is now hanging to dry, because I want to try to get some scanning done tomorrow and then try to take the weekend off. So assuming that all works out, my plan this afternoon is to build a fire and sit and work and finish up those sleeves. So fingers crossed that I can get that done. My goal was to have that finished by the end of this week, and I think that's totally doable. The other thing that I'm working on right now is a cabled vest, and that will be for also a March release, but late March release, out of my Freya DK. If you have any interest in test knitting that vest, please give me a shout. Like I said, it's a sport weight yarn, and it is, I would call it intermediate. You do need to know how to read cables from a chart, and there is none of the cables are super hard, but there are quite a few of them. So it's an overall cabled vest. I will probably have that draft ready to go mid-January. So if you are interested in testing that, give me a shout. I'll be happy to chat with you about those details a little bit more, if you decide that's something that you would like to do. Let's see, is there anything else on the needles? I think that's it right now. I'm drinking a very non-season type tea today. I was just in the mood for something kind of bright and citrusy, and so this is a mango Ceylon tea from the Republic of Tea, which is very good. It has a lovely, lovely fruity floral note. I may have to order some more of that. I just had it as a sample tea bag, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see. I guess I should do a little year in recap. I did finish the box O Socks knit along. I finished my 12 pairs, I think in October. So that knit along's been done. I had one more pair to knit for the Coffee with CC knit along, which I am not going to get done before the end of the year. But I probably will look at putting on the needles at some point. It's the Peppermint Mocha socks, I believe, is the last pair that I had to knit. So I got 6 of the 7 patterns done in the book, including the biggest one, which is the shawl. So I'm really happy about that. Can always use more hand knit socks. Those are always a great thing. I think that's about all that I had going on this year that was knitting wise left to be kind of finished up. Let's talk about spinning. You guys, I am so close. I am so close to the end of my Spin the Bin project. I did not bring down my charcoal Superfine merino alpaca finished skein. Let me go and grab that. I will be right back. So I'm back. Sorry, I knew there was something that I was forgetting, and that apparently was it. So I have finished up the super soft, super squishy, super fine merino alpaca 50-50 blend that was from Pigeon Roof Studios. And this is how it spun up. I just spun it into a simple squishy worsted 2-ply. And it's charcoal gray with lots of those wonderful hand paint, hand spun color variations within that color. So I wound up with 217 yards and 4 ounces. Perfect for a hat or mittens. It is so soft, so soft. And gray is like one of my favorite colors. We'll definitely be making something out of this, although I have not decided what yet. Maybe a cabled hat. It kind of has that feel to me. So that is done, and with that I have one more fiber left, and I have already started it. So let me show that to you guys. This is the second of 2 small bats. I had a total of 1.85 ounces of fiber. This is 70% merino and 30% Angora bunny. I was looking to see if I could find the end of this bat that's rolled up, so I could kind of show you guys, and is not really interested in cooperating. So I have this one left to spin, and I have spun up the first bobbin. Nothing crazy here. I mean, it's white. It'll get over dyed when I'm finished. I am spinning it up as a 2-ply, fairly finely, because I know this one's going to bloom with the Angora bunny added in there. These were a gift from a fellow spinner in a swap that I did a couple years ago, and so she actually hand carded these for me, and the preparation is absolutely beautiful. There's, I mean, a lot of times with Angora, because it's Angora bunny, because it's so soft, you'll wind up with some neps in hand-carded preps. Not this one. It is, I mean, there's been like 2. Okay. So here is what the bat looks like unrolled. It's not huge by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, they're each just under an ounce. So all I'm doing to spin this is I'm just stripping off pieces about this wide and then spinning, you know, from one end to the other, and working my way through that. So this is all I have left to spin. The plan is to work on that this weekend and then get the two singles plied up, and then the Spin the Bin project is done. It's done, which makes me feel really good. You know, that was a goal I had wanted to really try to achieve this year. And the great thing is I have a ton of handspun. So let me show you guys the box. You may remember I had two projects. Got little wispies of fiber there now. Two projects. I made a hat out of this one and a pair of socks out of this one, and these are the scraps that I have left. But everything else is a full skein. And so here is the bin of finished handspun. And when I started, I actually couldn't even fit all of the, well, let's just say that the top did not go on this bin very well with the unspun fiber because that takes up more space. So, I mean, I have probably half this bin that left that I could fill with more handspun. So I went back through because I wanted to update my Ravelry pages. And here's a little secret. You think that you will remember stuff, and I have a good memory for things. I am awful with people's names, but I can remember stuff about my fiber and my yarn. If I hadn't posted some stuff to Instagram, I would have had to reskein and rerun yardages on a ton of these. I didn't have any information written down. This is so not like me. Normally I am like OCD over the top about stuff like that. So all I can say is it must have been a very busy year where I didn't keep as good records as I should have. But everything now has a band on it that has the weight, meaning is it sock weight, worsted weight, sport weight, whatever. The fiber content, the yardage, and the ounces. The original fiber, so like for instance, this is the 2F by hand superwash merino, that's the colorway Boardwalk. So I put 2F by hand and then the colorway name on there so that I have some kind of record. And I at least updated 99% of my Spin the Bin project handspun so that I can search it on Ravelry, because really it doesn't do me a ton of good not to be able to say, oh, well, I need about 400 yards. What do I have that's maybe this colorway or maybe this fiber? So without that information, it's just a bin of random yarns that aren't very usable. And while I don't knit with my handspun for every single project, I do really enjoy knitting with it. And so, you know, being able to put my hands on something and say, oh, these are fingering. I can use this for a shawl, or I could make socks out of these, versus the worsted weights. It's much easier to be able to do that and know that I've got enough yardage to do a particular pattern and be able to search by that. You know, Ravelry is a great tool, but just like any database, if you don't put the data in, it's not really that helpful to you. Anyway, so this is where I am. This is just about there. Like I said, I have the one small skein. I will likely over dye that so it won't stay white forever, because I can't really envision using it as white as a white yarn. I'd much rather make something squishy and soft, like a nice cowl out of it. That is a color that I would actually wear, because the Angora is beautiful. It's so lovely and soft. I know I want to make something very wearable with that. So that is the Spin the Bin project to this point. And the thing that really made me happy when I got to the point that I was, you know, going through and putting labels on everything, there's some of the ones in here that I spun that I kind of forgot about already. I mean, it's not even been a whole year. And yet, you know, this awesome sparkly one that Sam and David, that was a combo spin from Fat Cat Knits. I love this. I have to spend some time with my Handspun in 2017. I think that's all that there is to that. I have a ton of it. You know, I occasionally sell it, but it's not like I sell that much of it. I have it to use for things for myself. I certainly could do that. Not sure why I don't, other than the time. Anyway, ramble much. That is where I am on Spin the Bin. We are doing a Spin from Stash challenge in the Willy Wonka Fiber group. If you are a spinner and have a stash, come join us. It does not have to be Willy Wonka fiber, although that is great if it is. I have posted a monthly challenge topic for January, and I thought it would be kind of fun if every month we had something that you could focus on. If you were unsure about what you wanted to spin for a given month, those might give you some prompts to pick something really great from your stash and get it spun up. So the two things that we're going to potentially focus on, you can pick one, you can pick both, whatever suits you. Colorway is something in a neutral, like a gray, a pale silver, a white, something wintry feeling, or something that is from Blueface Luster. So if you have BFL, can be straight 100% BFL, or it can be a mix, BFL and silk or something else. Grab it out of your stash, come join us in January. We'll kick the year off and do some spinning. For that, because this is likely what I will get done pretty much for the rest of the year, between getting that spun and plying it, I'm spinning it fairly finely. That's kind of like my end of 2016. To start on 2017 going forward, I wanted to share with you guys a couple of things that I'm going to be planning on spinning in January. I am somebody who likes to have finished things. I like to finish stuff and say, look, I did that. I don't like a lot of things in progress for too long. I like to feel like I've accomplished a project start to finish. And that is problematic when you are in the midst of large projects, right? Because there's not a lot of instant gratification. So what I'm going to try to do for 2017, because I do have a lot of deadline knitting going on, I'm going to try to not put any major, you know, kind of resolution lists together for my spinning, like I have to get this accomplished. I'm not going to do a spin the bin project. I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on myself for 2017. I just want to get some things spun. And I am going to try to keep up with the club fibers that are for the Willy Wonka Fibers Club. And so I know I'll have at least one thing a month I want to spin. If I get other things done, that's a bonus and we'll have a big yay moment. But if I don't, that's okay. I'm going to be totally fine with that. So my first spin that I have planned for 2017 is the December 2016 Willy Wonka Fibers Club fiber. This is a custom blend. It's merino with a little bit of kind of a slate blue glitter in it. You can just kind of see the sparkle. It's got a really pale seashell pink, a silvery gray, a kind of slate gray, and then the slate blue sparkles. So I'm going to use this for that kind of neutral colorway. It was inspired by a Japanese watercolor of Mount Fuji with snow on the mountaintops, kind of at sunset. And I just loved the soft colors in it. So this braid will be my first spin for 2017. And I'm really looking forward to trying this blend out. I went back and forth with a couple iterations on the colors, but in the end, I just thought something really soft, kind of soft winter colors would be appropriate. So that is on deck for 2017. The next thing, and I'm not sure I will get to this in January. I might spin it at some point because I love the colors, but it is the November 2016 Oceanwind Knits Club fiber. The last three, so we've got November, December, January in the Oceanwind Knits Fiber Club. They are all based on gemstones. So this is fluorite. And that is the card inspiration. And here is the fiber. It's kind of, so it's got some blues and greens, obviously, you can see that. And then it's got kind of a brownish purple mixed in there as well. Really pretty. And Lori also sent along a little stitch marker. Let's see if you guys can see that, with the stones in it. Does not want to focus up that close. There you go. That's not too bad. So I think that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to spinning the colors in that. Really pretty. So again, not sure when this will get spun, but it has just arrived, so I wanted to share that portion of stash with you guys. Yeah, so that is where we are right now with that. I think that's it for spinning. I think that's it for spinning. Okay, so that brings me to my last little tidbit, which is just a little bit of stitching that I've been doing. This is, I'll show you guys the pattern here. Excuse the crinkle for a minute. This is the January wordplay that I've been working on by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I actually have made some good progress on it. Here's where I am. So I really think that the colors, I really like the colors in this. I like it. The linen I'm using is a hand-dyed linen called Earthen. And, you know, it's a nice neutral, but it's still got a little bit going on in it, which is what I like about hand dyes. And then I'm also using over-dyed or hand-dyed threads. And the funny thing is, this little blob here on the wagon is the bottom half of a snowman, but when I started that, you know, in the white, my husband, who knows me well, said, "Is that a sheep in a wagon? Is that a sheep riding a wagon?" No, dear, snowman, but, you know, good guess. Anywho, that is where I am on this. I decided to do 2 threads of white for the snowman because I thought that the snowflakes were hard to see. And I am going to keep the snowflakes with just 1 strand. I have a few other little ones that live up here. And so I'm going to do those with 1 strand just to be consistent with the ones I did over here. But I'm going to finish the snowman with 2 because I think otherwise he doesn't show up very well and it's such a big block. Everything else is stitched with 1 strand of floss over 2 linen stitches. And it's a 32 count linen if you keep track of that sort of thing. So I'm kind of hoping I might have this one done by the beginning of January. But I don't think I will fully finish it because I have this other whole half of the fabric to use, and I wanted to use that for a Thanksgiving one I have. I think this would look really great. I love how these kind of fall colors came on that linen. One of the colors is called Pumpkin Pie and the other is Cinnamon. Those are the 2 colors in the wagon. And I love how those look on this fabric, and I thought, well, that would be perfect for a Thanksgiving themed one. But I don't really want to cut the fabric, I don't think. I don't know, I might measure it and see, because it would be great to have this finished up. I'm thinking about making just a little cushion out of it to go on the couch or on our sideboard. there's like one more section of lettering on this side. So I have the snowman to finish up, and a little bit of lettering over here. There's a couple of trees above him right up here, and one more word down here. So I'm a little over half done, maybe 2/3, between 2/3 and 3/4 done on that. So I'm thinking this might be in my kind of focus piece for the rest of, definitely the rest of this week. I have the Christmas ornament. That's not really an ornament, it's the bigger, it's like 7 inches, that I have slated to work on next week. Haven't decided yet if I will push on and do that. It's already had 1 week of focus this month, so I may treat myself to working on that. I did also want to say, I'm not sure how many of you have gotten to the podcast from my blog or how many folks still follow my blog. It's been sadly, woefully neglected in 2016, and I am going to try to update that more frequently for 2017 with some more kind of personal stuff, not necessarily, you know, here's my life as a whole, but things that are a little less business related. So it'll have ongoing information about the books that I'm reading. I'm going to try to do a Thursday post that will have some stitching in it. I'm going to try to get back to my Spinning Friday posts. Just do a few more casual things, and then of course you can always pick up the podcast through that as well. I always embed a link so you can watch it there if you are so inclined. I think that's it for everything I needed to talk to you guys about. I will not be podcasting next week, so this is the last podcast before the end of the year, but I will see you guys early in 2017. My plan is to podcast that first week of January, and I think for the foreseeable future, I'm going to switch back to an every other week podcast schedule. I think that that just makes better sense with the amount of sort of secret knitting that I'm doing. I don't have a ton to show you guys, and so the videos might be a little bit longer, but I think they'll be more like a 40-minute video or 35-minute video where there's still enough substance that it's interesting for you to come and visit with me for a little while I do that. If it winds up starting to get too long, like I said in the beginning of recording, I don't want to have hour-long videos. I know some folks like them, but really everybody's time is important, and you don't need to sit and listen to me talk for an hour every week. If the podcasts start pushing that hour mark, I will go back to weekly podcasts, but until then, I think every other week will be an easier schedule. I can still keep up with you guys, and certainly if you decide you want to see and hear more things, you can always pop onto the blog, or which I'll link the information down below. It's called An Evening of Wonders. You can also always find me at the Woolly Wonka Fibers Ravelry group, as well as on Instagram and Facebook, and of course the shop at woollyWonkaFiber.com. So with that, I hope that you all have a very wonderful holiday season with whatever type of holiday you and your family celebrate. I hope that 2016 has been a good year for you. I know it's been a good one for me in many ways, and I'm anxious to see what 2017 brings. So I hope that the new year treats you right. I hope that you have a lot of time here in the next week or two to spend with your loved ones, doing things that make you happy and bring you joy. I'll see you in 2017. Take care, guys.